Hi, this is Rachel, and here we are back again, and I'm going to give a little talk today for anyone who's listening. I was asked recently about the grids, the planetary grids, and I'm sure you all know something about the planetary grids, but I'll just give a brief synopsis of how the planetary grids work. Very much like our own meridian system, all living bodies have some kind of a meridian system which is channeling, moving energy around. It's part of what keeps the body alive and healthy. The Earth is no different. Now, the planetary grid of the Earth is more symmetrical than ours. You know, if you draw a midline down the human body, both sides of the meridian system mirror each other, but with the Earth being more or less round, the grid looks kind of the same from all angles, in that it's a bit like the structure of a geodesic dome. You've got triangles and various other geometric figures that you can see, but they're all symmetrical and geometric. The key point on the planetary grid was Glastonbury. Glastonbury had the great crystal, and it still does have a crystal in the Earth. The Earth has to actually move around her chakras and redo the energy, send it in different directions. What happened with Glastonbury many years ago, quite a lot of years ago, 60 maybe, 50 or 60 years ago, is that so many people were in competition for the heart chakra of the planet to be about them, and apparently you had the Christians, and then you had the alternative people, and you had all these different people thinking that the heart chakra of the planet was about them, their groups, their beliefs. The darkness thus caused the Earth shifted the heart chakras herself to Sedona, and there is a particular rock there that I used to visit, which has what was the secondary main crystal, and energy would go straight from Glastonbury to there. It's in one of the canyons, Secret Canyon, at the beginning of Secret Canyon. It's a kind of a tall, pointy rock. There's a main crystal under there. This became then the heart chakra of the planet, as it was at that time relatively free from infighting and negative energies. It has now been shifted to somewhere else. There's a connection here with Mount Shasta as I'm looking at it, Mount Shasta. Again, while, you know, there are some people around Mount Shasta who think this special place is about me or my beliefs or my group, it's much less crowded, and it's cleaner energetically. There's very little military activity there, and so Mount Shasta now has the great crystal under the ground at Mount Shasta is now functioning as the heart chakra of planet Earth at this time. So she'll move it around. She has to, given that there are people with knowledge, and there are people with knowledge who are not necessarily balanced. She has to do this to keep her energy waves clear and clean. Now, we do have crystalline grids, which are some would say coming in. You know, we're often told that new crystalline grids are appearing on the planet. Channelers and seers sometimes talk about this and how you can work with these energies. What I'm being shown is that there are crystalline grids, but what I'm hearing is reactivation. Of course, they're not, mainly it's not new. It's, the planet was once much higher frequency than the way she's been functioning for thousands of years. Her energy was brought down low and to quite basic, and at times they're saying just enough energy to keep her alive. And she's saying, the Gaia is saying through me, and I was barely alive at times, you know, looking at the Dark Ages, the so-called Dark Ages, and some other times where the darkness on Earth and the darkness of many humans or humanoids was wrecking my ability to function. But now I'm coming back up. And it's more that my crystalline grids are re-emerging. And this is interesting. It's like, you know, humans are developing new chakras. We have the high heart chakra in the middle of the breastbone, which is between the blue of the throat and the turquoise of the heart. Rather, the green of the heart, it's turquoise. And when you have that, many of us have this chakra either in embryo or in bud or starting to flower. A few have it fully opened and functional. When you have this chakra fully functional, it's one of the things that mean the body doesn't age, or very little. Normally said about the high heart chakra that once it's fully online, you can't die. So we also have new chakras above our heads. We have many, many chakras surrounding the physical body, and some are in the aura, some are in the auric space and not aligned with the physical body. They're outside. But new ones are appearing, and what Spirit is saying here is that new chakras are actually appearing all the time. So you have chakras in your ears, you have chakras in the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet, and they were there. They may have been somewhat dormant in some people, but they've been there, functioning. It's just that the main major meridian system of chakras is the one that we usually think of when you hear about chakras or think of chakras, but we do have many others. But now I'm seeing human auras with many points of light, and these do look new. Some of them form into chakras, and some of these are connected with your soul group from other dimensions and other planets. The same with my system, says Gaia, that while I've got crystalline grids re-emerging into what were virtually dead pathways for many years, in many cases, and seeing them sparkling, they look very much like necklaces with many jewels, made of many jewels strung together, and quite thick, you know, lots of jewels in every direction. They are to do with my higher consciousness and your higher consciousness, and as your higher consciousness comes online, these crystalline grids get stronger. Now there is energy coming from other places, if you like, other dimensions, other planets, soul groups who are currently off planet, which is suffusing my meridians with a new energy. And these are the energies that some of your channelers repeatedly advise you to tune in with and bring into your own physical bodies. So there is a pattern from the past which is reactivating. And as the medium can see, it's it's quite reactivated, but not fully online. You can see where it is. The first image I got was like when a house has been wired for electricity, the electrician, when it's done, they'll run electricity through the system to see how it's working, to see if there are any weak places and all that, places where the connection isn't working. But, when people are living in the house or using the house, plugging things into sockets, appliances into sockets, and everything's online. Now you get a different resonance with that wiring than when your electrician just runs some bolts of electricity through the system to test it. And in a way, it may be a little further ahead than that testing thing, but it's paler, it's fainter than when it's fully online. Myself, I'm not. My consciousness is in, higher than the fifth dimension. At the moment, my being is very early seventh dimensional as I move up through the different dimensions. As some of you know, all 13 dimensions are destined to be manifested within my being. That is the moment of heaven on earth when that happens. So we're moving, but we do have some way to go. Fortunately, we don't have to go all the way before most of you will notice a very pleasant difference in the way that you feel and in the way that things happen. These higher energies, of course, are always there for you to access in your lives, including the highest. And in fact, every time I use the word advice, the medium almost flinches because recently a medium she respects said, "Don't listen to advice." However, I strongly recommend that in your lives you will get the best results by focusing as much as possible on the highest energies. Some people call this God. Some people call it Source. Some people call it the creator of all that is. And people who, don't have very pronounced spiritual ideas sometimes call it peace, but it's the highest, the purest, most refined energy that any of you know of, and you've all experienced this. So when you call on the highest, all the others between earth and heaven can come online much more strongly. And many of you are working with the new crystalline grids, with specific aspects and energies. All of you starseeds and light workers have come here with energies to ground which are personal to you, your dimension, your planet, and your soul group. And however that works for you. Some people have come here from a dimension and not from a planet. Most people come from soul groups which are strongly connected with certain planets, other planets. But all this has to be grounded into my grids. And as I'm seeing the crystalline grids, they have, as I say, many, and they do look like crystals, many points of light. Each one is actually about something. Each one contains specific information to do with the creation, that, not only the universe, not only the material universe, but also the non-material, and in some cases other universes that are parallel in different, I always said timelines, but timelines isn't quite right, but there are many parallel universes, and there is information being grounded into the body of myself on the nature of these parallel universes. So if you would like to help my process, perhaps even more than some of you are doing now, in your meditation, in your quiet times, you could ask your higher selves to show you how you can assist me in bringing these crystalline grids online. So, thank you for listening, my children. I love you dearly, and we shall speak again before too long, I hope. And don't forget to go out and enjoy the body of myself, the earth, especially if you can allow your bare feet to connect with the earth or the beach or wherever, climb my trees, fully engage with my world of nature. I love you dearly, and have a good day.